So Disneyland has some opening day attractions, and we're going to talk about them in this video. Continue watching for opening day attractions for Disneyland. July 17th, 1955 was opening day. I'm Melissa.
Hi, I'm Jillian.
Hi, I'm David.
And together we're Disabled DISventures. I have several medical conditions that limit my mobility. I call myself an ambulatory wheelchair user. I use a wheelchair or a mobility scooter anytime I'm outside the house in order to get around. I like to say that we're a disability lifestyle and travel.
We do videos on theme parks, cruise ships, and other places that we visit.
But come with us on our next adventure. The Disneyland park has changed a lot since 1955 when it first opened. Do you want to hear about some of the opening attractions? We know you do.
The first one is Autopia. When it first opened, there was no center track. It was just all over, just loose. And so there was a lot of car accidents on the track.
It is so important nowadays to protect your internet privacy and your data, especially if you're out using public networks. We do this using Surfshark. It's a VPN that allows you to protect this information when using public networks. If you subscribe through our link below, you will get 2 months free and a discount on your plan, and we will make a small commission.
Next is Casey Jr. That was the small train that they had problems with that on opening day to where it wasn't heavy enough to be able to pull people.
And the Disneyland Railroad that we all love looked a little bit different back then. The track was laid out a little bit different, and the trains were a little bit different. But the Lily Bell car, which they do bring out on occasion, was there and named after Walt's wife, Lillian.
So our next one is Dumbo. Dumbo the Flying Elephant, which is the first ride that I went on in Fantasyland, which is all it does is spin around.
Next is Jungle Cruise, which is world famous for being world famous. When they built it, they had to put the plants in right away, and the guy who designed the track actually just walked through there with 2 sticks and said, okay, this is where it's going to go, and just drug the sticks through there.
The next one is King Arthur's Carousel. It's actually older than even Disneyland itself. It was built in 1922 and was in a park in Toronto, Canada.
So our next one is Mad Tea Party. It's the spinning teacups, which make a lot of people dizzy.
Next up is Main Street Cinema, which as shows cartoons starring Mickey and Friends nowadays, but when Disneyland opened, it was showing movies starring Buster Keaton and Charlie Chaplin.
Next up on our list of opening day attractions is the Main Street vehicles. Now, this is something I have actually never been on because they're not handicap accessible. All the vehicles are older, so you can put a fold-up wheelchair if you can get on them. I think I would have a hard time with how the steps and the stairs go. So we have never actually done this. Tell me in the comments if you have. They look like so much fun.
Mark Twain is next. The only attraction to actually sink on opening day it was also listing when it was christened. And fun fact, the bottle that they christened it with was actually filled with water from each river in the United States. So it wasn't actually alcohol, it was river water from different rivers.
Next up on our list of opening day attractions is one of my favorite Disneyland attractions, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Yes, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride was there on opening day. Have you ever ridden Mr. Toad's Wild Ride? Tell me in the comments. My favorite attraction!
Oh, Peter. Peter Pan's Flight was there on opening day, and it had an incredibly long line. Although, originally, Peter Pan was not actually in the ride, just like all of Fantasyland's attractions. The star of the attraction was not actually in them, because Walt wanted you to go through them as if you were the main character. Most people didn't understand this, so they added the characters in later.
when they did the redo of Fantasyland in the 80s, they added them all back in. And they switched up a bunch of stuff. But yes, Peter Pan's Flight is my favorite attraction. I am so excited for that every time we go. Okay, so the next attraction up on our list is Snow White's Scary Adventure. It has now been refurbed to Snow White's Enchanted Wish. So they pretty much just kind of changed the ending. It is still the basic, Disneyland, Fantasyland dark ride you're used to, but the ending is a lot more nicer now. If you haven't seen that, we'll post the POV video on our channel. Look for Snow White's Enchanted Wish.
And it's also using more updated technology now as well, with some of the graphic video on there. Next up is the Storybook
Land Canal Boats.
Storybook Land Canal Boats. Although that's not what it was originally called.
The Canal Boats of the World.
It was originally called the Canal Boats of the World. It was later rethemed, like within 2 years, to the Storybook Canal Boats. I don't know why I'm having a hard time saying it, but
it's kind of a mouthful. Storybook Land Canal Boats.
Yes.
It's such a cool attraction, though. This is another one of my favorites in Fantasyland. You get to go in through Monstro's mouth, the mouth of the whale.
And you get to go into the Cave of Wonders.
You do. And you get to see a lot of the princesses' castles, which I love all those. And it's just such a cool ride. And it's different when you go during the day versus at night. They are both, it's one of those attractions where you need to experience it both ways, both during the day and at night. So that's kind of like our list of current attractions that are still there. There were some attractions that are no longer available to ride, like the Rocket to the Moon is no longer in Tomorrowland. And the Tomorrowland boats are no longer there, but they were there on opening day. There were a lot of stores and attractions that were sponsored by companies. Like, did you know you could buy lingerie on Main Street? Yep, you could walk right in and buy bras. You could buy cigarettes and tobacco. There was a tobacco shop. There was a store that sold Mexican food where
Doritos were actually invented.
In Frontierland. Did you know that? Doritos were invented at Disneyland. So the next time you pop open those bag of chips, thank Disneyland.
That restaurant is where Zocalo...
Rancho del
Zocalo is now at.
And Disneyland, when it first opened, because Walt didn't have the finances really to do everything he wanted to do, he got smart. He partnered with companies like, it was Bank of America was one of them, right? There was like a bank. There was, again, the laundry store. There were so many stores that are no longer available. I hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. Hit that like and subscribe.
Be sure to hit that like and subscribe and click the bell icon to be notified when we upload a new video or go live.
You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Pinterest.
You can support us on our Patreon. We have tiers starting at $1 per month.
Thank you for all your support. If you want to see more, click the video in your right-hand corner.